Can ask his ma, he got slapped for free. Diddly bang, that's crooked our teeth. Take a look and think why the up was the P. Just pray to my God that it's never free.
This was the most requested video in the GCOR Discord server. Make sure you join if you haven't already using the link in description. Make sure you like, share and subscribe to the channel for all things GCOR GT. Best drivers to never win a race. Out of nearly 100 drivers to ever race in GCOR GT, 25 drivers have at least one win, whether that be in the Elite Series, Pro Series, or GT3. Winning in GCOR GT is an extraordinary feeling, and something that gives a driver a place in the history books. It means that on a certain day and in a certain moment, you were the best driver. Once you have a win, you enter a different level and are viewed in a different light. You are almost set apart from the rest of the drivers, and you may be well on your way to becoming one of the all-time greats. However, today's video focuses on those drivers who are very much at the top level, but never had the luck on their side to claim a victory, or just could never seem to achieve the perfection necessary to gain that first race win, despite having every other stat filled. Some of these drivers are still active with a chance to change this, while others are long retired, with that win column likely remaining blank forever. Here are the greatest GCOR GT drivers to never win a race. One of the biggest what-ifs in GCOR GT is Portuguese driver Shaiduki, who competed in GCOR GT3 seasons 2 and 3. He competed in 12 races and 5 sprints across his career, all of which came for GCOR Motorsports. He exploded onto the scene in his debut at Fuji in Season 2, finishing third and establishing himself as a major player in the league. He seemed to be at his best when racing in Japan, as he scored all 3 of his podiums at Fuji, Suzuka, and Autopolis respectively, each time finishing third. His best qualifying performance came at Watkins Glen in Season 2, where he qualified third, making everyone aware of his pace over a lap. Shaiduki also has 2 starts in GCOR F1. Shaiduki was one of the most media-friendly characters in the league in his day, regularly posting analysis videos of his races, some of which you can see on his YouTube channel, and they give a great insight into his mindset during the race. His partnership and friendship with Jeff in Season 2 at GCOR was also one of the most iconic in league history. Shaiduki always seemed to have the potential to break through and get the win many feel he deserved, but it seems his career ended too early to see it become a reality, as by the time GCOR GT3 transitioned into Elite, Shaiduki had long retired. The next driver we will discuss is GCOR, a driver who is a regular sight on GCOR GT highlight reels and shorts. GCOR has been a key figure in the Elite Series up until this point, competing in 18 races and 8 sprints across GCOR Elite Seasons 1 and 2. In Season 1 he was signed by Driva H to drive for Red Bull Petronas alongside Cam, and while Cam won the Drivers' Championship in style, it was GCOR's performances as a number 2 driver which ensured that the team won the Constructors' title that season. GCOR came close to victory on a number of occasions that season, most notably at Watkins Glen after Cam and 7 Steps incident placed him in prime position to take victory. However, he faltered late in the race, and ended up finishing 4th on the day. A similar event also occurred for GCOR at Watkins Glen in Elite Season 2 as well. Joe Cast has never scored a podium in GCOR, and this is especially surprising given how much pace he has shown. I believe this to be largely based on him being prone to mistakes, and also bad luck, which has held him back thus far. But Joe Cast is still active, so he has a real chance of securing that first win and especially the podium finish he has been long due. If it does happen, it will most likely be at Watkins Glen, and if it does happen there, it will certainly be one of the most memorable victories in GCOR GT history. British driver Crazy Mac was one of the main players during the peak of G.C.O.R's GT3 era. He made his debut for Triumph Racing in Season 1 at Road Atlanta, scoring podiums in both the sprint and race, showing his pace and potential to do serious damage in the upcoming season. Mac raced in all 3 seasons of GCOR GT3, and completed 17 races and 8 sprints, scoring 3 podiums in his career in GT for 3 different teams: Triumph Racing, Panasonic Toyota Gazoo Racing and Chubbs Racing. His best form came for Chubbs Racing, where he recorded his best career race finish, a 2nd place at Dragon Trail Gardens. His finest hour came 2 weeks later at the Nürburgring, where he made a bold strategy call in the rain, choosing to fit full wet tires earlier in the race than the rest, to come through the treacherous conditions which saw all other drivers spinning, slipping, and sliding across the track. The scenes were like something out of a movie, as Mac pulled off the easiest overtakes of his life, en route to a first and only sprint victory. This was a very popular victory in GCOR history, and Mac was generally one of the most well-liked drivers on the grid at that time. Mac was a reliable driver who rarely DNF'd, was always guaranteed to bring home points on the weekend. His efforts in Season 2 helped him to a 5th place finish in the Drivers' Championship. Similar to Shai Duki, he retired in Season 3, and the question remains as to if he could have gotten that all-important race win in Elite. Before going into the final 2 drivers on this list, let's look at a few more drivers who just missed the cut. Spanish ace Borja shocked the GCOR world in Elite Season 2 when he topped the Q1 timing sheets at Autopolis, and many suddenly expected him to challenge the dominance of Cam. He would score 3 straight podiums in the races after Autopolis, the last of which came at Canada, where he was leading after a late race safety car, but was passed on the last lap by Cam, who went on to take the victory. Borja had to settle for P2, and only raced one more time after. Another honorable mention is Hunter, who was one of few drivers to take the fight to the GN7 duo of Chaconas and Genius in early GT3 Season 2. His pole lap at Fuji in Round 2 is immortalized and is to this day considered one of the greatest pole laps in the history of GCOR GT. His best race was at Autopolis in Round 1, where he battled tooth and nail with Chaconas for victory, ultimately coming up short and finishing 2nd. He was never really the same after that race, and retired after the Bathurst 150 that season, but has continued to entertain rumors of a return to action in the future, so there is a possibility that Hunter gets the chance to add the GT win to his resume. Mentions must also be given to ARPS and CO2, who have recently made large strides in form, and seem closer to wins than ever before. In my opinion, the second greatest driver to never win a GCOR GT race is none other than Jenson. Jenson has competed in 12 races and 5 sprints across GCOR Elite and GCOR Pro, scoring 5 podiums, 1 pole and 2 fastest laps. He started out as the chosen figurehead of Panther Sim Sports' GCOR operation in GT Elite Season 1, and drove their Lexus to 3 podiums in the first 4 races, ensuring that the team was competitive at the front, and giving the team a solid foundation with which to build off of. However, it wasn't to be for Jenson, as he admitted he hated the car, and decided against continuing with it. Instead, he remained on the sidelines for the second half of the season, and when Season 2 rolled around, he took a ride for NP Motorsport in the Pro Series, where he scored another 2 podiums at Autopolis and Fuji. When NP merged into the Elite Series, Jenson went with them and immediately took pole in his return to the series at Watkins Glen, showing that his pace had clearly not left him. However, he could never convert this into a points-paying finish, and would DNF every race he started that season. This highlighted a flaw in Jenson's driving style. He clearly had the pace. He is arguably one of the fastest drivers GCOR GT has ever seen, but it seems that 2 things have separated him from a win thus far. The first being the hiatus he took in the back end of Elite Season 1. Jenson was in serious form in the first half, and the Panthers did end up taking victory during that time period, showing that it was possible to bring the Lexus across the line first. And the second is his racecraft, although it must be said that bad luck and incidents have also plagued Jenson for much of his second run. Jenson still competes regularly, and in my opinion has the highest ceiling of anyone in this list, so only time will tell if he eventually gets the win or even achieves more than this in the future. The greatest GCOR GT driver to ever get behind the wheel, that has never crossed the line in first in a race, is none other than Joey. Originally drafted in by Jeff as a full-time partner of Jenson at Panther Sim Sport, Joey has competed in 16 races and 8 sprints for the Panthers, scoring 7 podiums and 4 fastest laps along the way. After Jenson went on hiatus, he became the main man at the team, and he got straight to work, finishing P2 in only his second start at Spa, before taking his, and the Panthers', first and only pole position at Daytona, a track that many on the grid believed the Lexus was ill-suited to. Joey clearly displayed his pace in the second half of Elite Season 1, culminating in an 8th place finish in the drivers' standings, and would remain with the team in Season 2 as they switched to the more competitive Nissan. Panther Sim Sport would also sign the aforementioned Joe Cast to the team, and Joey was viewed as the most likely driver to challenge Cam for the title. Joey was keen to prove the viewers correct, narrowly losing to Cam in the season opener at Autopolis in a photo finish. He did not let this faze him, however, as he continued to score podiums, going on a run of 4 straight podium finishes in Autopolis, Fuji, Suzuka and Watkins Glen, also taking the victory in the Watkins Glen sprint, which clearly showed that on his day, he was able to win. The problem is, his day would never come that season, as Cam was simply on a level that no other driver could seemingly come close to, and he produced a record-breaking season. Joey was easily the second best driver in the league at this point, and cruised to second in the drivers' standings, but the problem was that the best was just that much better, as Cam raked in 7 wins on the season. If Joey returns for Season 3, I believe there to be a good chance that he gets the win he more than deserves. Joey has scored 107.5 points in his career, which places him 10th on the all-time list and is easily the most points scored by anyone without gaining a win. Perhaps if Joey raced in a different era, he'd have different results, but then again, we could say this about all the drivers mentioned in this video, even those not mentioned.
this man is good, Joey. So he comes second place, and in the sprint now, in this sprint, he's changed that. Joey coming out the final corner, and he has finally going to get a chance to stand the top step of the podium. Joey wins the sprint at Watkins Glen, and it's Panther Simsport's first ever 1-2 in the sprint. GCOR second, CO2 third.
This has been the greatest drivers in GCOR GT history to never taste victory. As previously stated, only 25 drivers have ever won. The Winners Club is an exclusive club, and each winner has a story of victory to tell. But with someone's victory comes someone else's defeat, and with someone's triumph comes another's heartbreak. These drivers have been as close to victory as can be and had it snatched from them, or simply raced in an era where the odds of winning were so low that second place was a serious achievement. Either way, these drivers have created their own legendary stories. Not every story in GCOR GT is the same, and this video is proof of it, and not every story can have a happy fairy tale ending, but I hope that at least one of these guys can one day cross the finish line in first place, especially considering the ability and potential they have. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. See you all for the next one.